Hello and welcome to this brand new series on the channel. So every single Tuesday at this sort of time, I will be releasing a series of At Your Command. Yes, this has come across me doing a couple of Twitch streams, and between myself and Lister and stuff like that, we were talking, and we've actually made a channel on my Discord. And if you want to learn a bit about commands, I can teach you with this video series. This is the idea. I don't know if this is actually going to work or not. So what I'm going to do is make a default game mode in flat, put the coordinates on, put cheats on, turn on always day, weather cycle off, and mob spawning off. I'll leave mob griefing on just in case I might need it. I'll turn that down a bit. But the idea is that I want to go ahead and try and do a couple of your guys' commands that you suggest. So I've just spawned in. As you can see, I am just in a regular flat world. And if you didn't know already, to get a command block, you need to do give @s command block. Okay, as simple as that. Now, I haven't done a command block kind of video showcase in so long on the channel. It's been forever. But today, I'm going to be focusing on one that I want to show off to people. It's not super advanced, but it might, you know, give you guys a couple of ideas maybe. And this kind of uses a bit of a randomizer and a scoreboard command. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is making a scoreboard timer that sets off random things, so kind of like an event thing. Now, I actually use this command on the climb, the map. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and build it, and then I shall be back and explain how I've done it. Okay, so first of all, I've got two command blocks, and what I'm going to be doing is using levers on all these commands, because if I make this into a world download or something and you guys want to go and have a look how I've actually done stuff, I don't want it to be running all these commands all at the same time. So I need to make it so they have levers to turn on and off. So all I've done here is set up a scoreboard of objectives to add a timer with a dummy. Okay. And the other one is just removing it. So it's basically a toggleable on and off switch basically for the scoreboard. So if I turn this on, you're going to see added a new objective timer successfully, and this will be removed it basically. So I'll continue on and I'll be back. So I've just put a sign down as well, just to kind of remind me, or again, if you guys download it or whatever, just that this is going to be a timer scoreboard command. Now, I've also thought I may as well kind of make, when I've actually finished this, I'm probably going to put like a bit of a border around it, just so we know, okay, that this is just for this command. Otherwise, it's going to get quite messy, I imagine. So I've added in two new commands here. I've got set display and second counter. Now, all of these are physically off right now. What set display is how you actually see what the scoreboard is trying to do physically. You don't have to have this. They work regardless, but it's better if you can see them for testing purposes. And if you want to hide it, you can hide it after. But yes, this is just scoreboard objective set display. At the sidebar, there is 3 options. I'll explain more in a minute. And yeah, obviously just set the display of timer, which is the actual scoreboard I've just created here. Okay, pretty easy so far. The other 2 options you have are list, which is when you press escape or start, just underneath invite to game will be a kind of a gamer tag with a number. You've probably seen it before on different maps and stuff anyway. You probably know what I'm talking about. And then there is another one called below name, and I believe this only works multiplayer. I'm not 100% sure because I've never ever actually used it, but I think it's kind of like what they have on servers and stuff, where you've got all of your information or whatever you want above your character. But the problem with that one is you can't actually do it single player. That's the only problem. So the only way I would actually be able to see it is if I just imagine this comparator is my friend Steve over here. And I would see it because I'm looking at him. But if I was actually Steve, I wouldn't be able to see any scores. I think that's kind of how it works. I'm not 100% sure on that one because I've never ever used it, but I think it's something like that. Anyway, so next we got the first ever repeating command block in this world, and this is a second counter Now, if I go in here, this is going to probably look a bit more scary. I'm only executing this at the closest player because this is the only way I want it to turn on. So basically, I've made it so whenever you stand on top of this repeating command block, it's going to activate. Because again, I don't want all these different commands activating. So all this is going to do is add a 1 to timer. Okay, so I've actually set this up. If you look at delay in ticks here, it says 20. Every 20 ticks is a second in this game. Okay, so for example, if I just turn this one on, it's going to say added new objective as you saw before. And then I'm going to flick this one on. It says timer now. If I jump on here, you're going to see this will start counting up. 1, 2, 3. You see? Pretty self-explanatory. And now I've put a comparator there just to activate it. So if I wanted to, for example, when this reaches, say, 20, it can do something. That's what we're going to be doing. This is kind of what I'm showing off here. It's very basic, but a lot of you guys are quite scared about scoreboards, I know. They are difficult, and I'm still learning every day with them. But yeah, I could simply remove that by just flicking that one, look, and that's all gone, look. So I'll turn all these back so I can turn them back on. So this is the actual brains of this kind of command. These 3 armor stands here. Yes, you can add as many of these as you want. There's no limit, really. Basically, you got to think is how random you want this to be is how many you want to use, okay? I don't really know what the limit of this is, but I've had in the past on maps when I've had at least 20, 25 of these things, and it still functions absolutely perfectly. So the more the merrier, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And the other thing is, it depends how random you want it to be, okay? So we got a 1 in 5 chance of getting either one of these armor stands, okay? So the way I'm testing all this and making this actually work is with this chain command block, okay? So I've removed the comparator because that was just to show you that it was actually working. And you can output things, you know, I could output more power this way if I really wanted to using redstone. But for the sake of this video, I am just going to be using a chain command block because I don't really need anything else. This is all I need. Very, very simple command, guys. It's not very hard. Okay, so whenever this counts up or whatever, this will be activated. And yeah, basically we need to leave this on always active because it's a chain command block. Pretty much most chain command blocks you use will always be always active, mostly, if they're connected. This needs to be conditional because this will only work if this condition is met. Okay, so we've got execute at P, that being me, closest player, DanRobzProbz. And then scores equal timer equals 20 double dot, okay? Now that may look a bit confusing to a couple of you, but scores actually means testing for scoreboards, okay? Equals timer is the name of the scoreboard, whatever I've called it. So you could call yours Bob or whatever, it doesn't really matter. And if it equals 20 double dot, which means 20 or above, it's going to run the next set of command line, okay? So the double dot, all it is anything above, basically. So if it was 19, this wouldn't work at all. If it was 21, this would work. If it was 2,000, it would work. If it was 500,000 million bajillion, it would work because it's higher than 20. And then all it's going to do is execute at R, which means at random, type equals armor stand, set block, a couple of blocks below it, a redstone block. Okay? So I'm going to actually activate all this because the command will not actually work. Remember, I need to stand on top of this, okay? Like I said, I've renamed that one redstone block because that will show you that it's powering. So let's stick this on and let's put this on. And we've got the timer ticking up, as we know. And when this reaches 20, it's going to set blocks on here. So I'll try and get this timing right so you can actually see this. So we're on about, what, 15, 16, 17. You can see it's counting in seconds. And here we go. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and as this is it, you can see now, there you go, it took, what, after 6 goes, it took another one to go there. So there is a slight problem here, okay? Now you can see that this is a problem. Now the problem with this is, they are going to set these blocks here, but this is where you kind of do whatever you want to do next. So me being me, I would actually go under here, do this, get rid of all this, because I copied that earlier. And what I'm going to do is set block, ding, 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 tilde, tilde, tilde. Oops. up 1, sorry, not -1. And we're going to just put that as air, if I can spell. There we go. Now I can just copy that. Do that. Do that. Oops. Do that. And do that. Now, whenever that redstone block hits that, it's obviously going to power this, okay? So now let's stand back on here. You're going to see these blink, like, really fast. Like, you see? And this is it, guys. This is how you make a scoreboard randomizer. Pretty easy, right? And obviously, you can just power whatever the hell you want after. Let me just show you this. So even though they are, like, really, really fast, they will just power these. See? Can you see that flashing? And then you can run these off to set events, to do random loot tables, to do whatever you want, but it's all completely random, which is really cool. Now, to reset this timer, for example, because we don't really want that going off every second, we want it to be every single 20 seconds, right? So I've set up a reset command here. Also, I didn't specify with the armor stand that you can actually give it a certain name if you want to. So I could do like something like this, and it would only work for armor stands that are actually called that. So what I'll do is break this one and do summon armor stand name sub to me. Okay, so it's only going to work if it goes to this one. So what I'm going to do is just, well, if I just break that one, and this one, you can see how customizable this is. So all of the ones that are facing like this are the ones it's going to work for. Let me just double check I didn't make a typo there. Yeah, sub to me, sub to me. If you haven't already, sub to me. Anyway, so yeah, I've set up a reset command here, and obviously the redstone block will go here, and it will activate this comparator this way, okay? Now it can also activate things this way, so that's why I've put these little commands here. It can also activate things this way and this way, so you've basically got 4 options here that you could do. Or if you are really, really, really lacking in space, you could just test for the block being there with a repeating command block, couldn't you? Honestly, there's so many different ways you could do this, but I'm just doing the way I'm doing it, just for the tutorial, whatever. But anyway, yeah, a score reset, that's what we got. And obviously when a redstone block hits that, it's going to do this. And it's going to set the closest player of timer on the scoreboard to 0. So that means it's technically going to reset the countdown, because it is counting in 20 seconds and then something will happen. Okay? You could obviously change this set to this if you really wanted to, but I wouldn't use that, because if you are making it as a currency, you might mess up all of everyone's currency if you do that. So personally, I like to use set. I don't know, it's just habit of mine. It's entirely up to you, but I think reset's a bit too powerful. You don't really want it to do that. Although set is technically the same, I don't know. I just use set, that's just the way I do it. Again, it's entirely up to you guys. Anyway, let's power this and show you that this should work. So bear in mind that this one will never get a redstone block, and this one too, because they obviously don't have the name of sub to me, okay? So what I'm going to do, I've dumbed this down to actually a tick of 5 to increase the speed, because counting in 20 seconds each time is probably quite long and boring. But anyway, let's add us to that, and I've also removed the command output as well. And I'm going to set the display look of timer, and we're going to stand on here. And here we go. Are you ready to hear some fireworks, guys? Woohoo! And it should be either the middle one again. Nope, we got that one again. Okay. And there we go. We got the middle one, look. So you can definitely see this is 100% working. So I've just wrapped it up in a bit of a box here, just so you, obviously if you do download this, you know that this is all connected. And I need to just make sure I turn these off and remove it. There we go. Anyway, guys, I'm DanRobzProbz. Thank you very much for watching At Your Commands, episode 1. And yes, I will not be listening to you guys in the comments section if you ask for a command. It's only for people who join my Discord. And if you do get a good suggestion, I will post it obviously on the screen and stuff. But anyway, take care, and I'll see you next Tuesday for episode 2. Bye!